Today we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time. Thank you, Chudumam. Thank you, Tada Bliss. Thank you for joining. Let your friends, tag your friends, and let them know that we have already started. Today is going to be a great day. As our topic today is how to bond with your spouse. King Foley, thank you for joining us. Do let your friends know that we are here. Afyong and Yobong, thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Get your questions ready as we start. Bonding is a very great topic that when it comes to relationship is very necessary, because I don't know how someone can actually have a good relationship without bonding. You know, you must bond with each other. And somebody looks at the word bond. What is this bond? You know, bonding is about a close, the dictionary meaning is a close relationship, a close, friendly relationship. So you find out that it has to be close, and again, the bottom line, friendship. So you cannot, have a very good relationship without having that friendship being there. And bonding is so important for a healthy relationship. Most relationships we know today are not even healthy at all. They are not healthy. There are many things that go on in this relationship, and it affects the healthy state of the people involved. Of course, I know that people have stories. If we begin to ask, you have a lot of stories. Now, bonding can be in several ways. It can be bonding spiritually. It can be bonding physically, it can be bonding intellectually, and you also have physical bonding, emotional bonding, all in this same bonding. They must happen. Like spiritual bonding, how can you just marry someone and then you don't know who that person is worshiping? What's the belief system of that person? So these also have separated some people, because when you come together and you have an issue, who are both of you going to talk to? If they are different belief system, if you have different belief system, then it begins to portray and show problems and demonstrate arguments and all that. Why? Because you have variance in what you believe in. So spiritual bonding is very, very important. I've seen people that in counseling sections that have different spiritual bonding. You can't be going to church and another be going to a babalawo, that kind of thing. Or you think that you're going to a spiritualist house where they tell you to bring coconuts, bring all manner of things, stone and all that. Then the other person believes, no, I'm going to pray to my God and I know what my God told me. And the person is using the Bible. So you find out that collision of variance in beliefs could cause a whole lot of issues, and it does cause a whole lot of issues. So we need bonding there. We need bonding intellectually. We need bonding intellectually. There are many things. That one is it presents itself in a very funny way, because it could come through even arguments. When you are arguing with your spouse and then somebody says, maybe the spouse now says, please, I need you to get away from here. If you don't have the same intellectual background or in the same intellectual bonding, you find the other person saying that you just abused me now. You told me to get away. How can you say that to me? I will not take it. That's an insult. But if you look at it, that's like, telling the person, I need some space. When the person says, I need you to get away from here, I need some space, that's what the person is saying. But if you don't have the same, intellectual background or a good enough intellectual bonding, it's going to affect how both of you relate. But however, these are big, subheadings. I want to just break it down to the little things that we know that can actually disturb us. Like, for instance, number one will be respect. And if you want to bond with your spouse, the one thing that you must look at is respect, respecting each other. And I think we can understand that, because if you look at in the corporate world where you have employers and employees, you wouldn't want to be insulted in any way or disrespected in any way. if you look at corporate environment or even ordinary environment where you have friends, you know, they like to respect each other. So when it comes to relationship and marriage, that respect is very important. We need to learn how to respect each other. And I want to especially say, because when I was putting this post, I told you people that how men bond is different from how women bond. We need to know that. How men bond is different. And they bond through respect. If you disrespect a man, it becomes difficult for that man to be able to bond. But if you respect that man, I'm talking to the women now, or to wives. If you respect the man can easily open to you. He can open up to you. That means he's ready for bonding. But when he feels insulted, and somehow it's inscribed in the man's psychic, or in the man's memory, or in the man's brain, or in the man's makeup, that respect is needed for him to function. Respect is needed for him to go. Any man that you talk down on eventually will not make it in life, will not be able to make it in life. He struggles because, you know, the person closest to him is bringing him down, is speaking down on him. So within himself, there's an inner struggle that he might not be able to make it. So these things are very, very important. We should look at it. Now, number 2 is be sensitive to each other's needs. One way to bond to each other is sensitivity. Sensitivity, you have to be sensitive. You know, no relationship grows without you being sensitive. You should be able to know what temperament your spouse is in, or what level, what at that time, what is he expecting me to do or to say. You can't come into a relationship and wag your mouth, talk anyhow, you know, and don't care about it. It may affect the other person. It may affect your spouse, whether you're a woman or whether you're a man. It's important that that sensitivity leads you to know how to talk, to know how to act, to know when to act, to know also when to speak. You can have something that is quite important and is truthful and you're right, but it might not be the right time for you to be, you know, to say that. So you have to be sensitive depending on what that issue is. And you know, as Africans, we have to be sensitive because we have extended families. So not because it's your right, then you start almost immediately to talk about maybe the in-laws, or to talk about the siblings derogatorily. It will affect, if you talk about them derogatorily, it will affect them. So it's better that you wait and be sensitive to know how your spouse will take it before you start talking about, you know, their siblings. So I'm talking about sensitive areas I've also seen in relationship. Money is another area that is very sensitive, you know. So how do you talk about money? You have to study your partner. What's your partner made of? Does he really like, or does she really like spending? Or is he someone that invests? Is he someone that takes time? You know, all these things also go back to the background. What's the background of the person before you people met? You know, this can tailor the way the person handles money in your relationship. I see that as another sensitive area where you have to be sensitive to each other's needs. Another area that you have to be sensitive is also in the sexual relationship. It's a very sensitive area, and a lot of people do not talk about it. So they just go on. And if you have not gotten to be able to bond in this sexual aspect of it, then your relationship is still missing something. As couples now, you know, it's still missing something. So you should be able to be free to talk about that. And men loves that. They bond through being able to have relationship smoothly with their women, with their wives. So if you don't bond in that area, each time your husband comes to you, you're putting up an attitude and all that, that also closes up the opportunity to bond. It will just close it up. And you find the man always staying away from you because you feel you have gotten something that you can hold on to. But that is not it. And that takes me to the next point, which is number 3, to be vulnerable, you know, with each other. You have to come to a place where you're vulnerable to one another. if you're going to bond, you have to be vulnerable. Friends, ordinary friends, even tell each other secrets. So why in the relationship, why are you not vulnerable to someone that you say you love? So all that hide and seek is what limits people from being open. Now, I want to now say this is how women bond. The way women bond is being able to be vulnerable before their man. And it hurts them if they're vulnerable for the man to make a joke of that vulnerability, of being vulnerable before him. It's not easy for the women to do that, but doing that, they expect their man to acknowledge that they are open to them. So these are things that our men should take note of, because it's very, very important. Then another one to both parties is engaging in your strengths. Engage in the strengths more than talk about your weaknesses. So it's good to talk about your strengths and use your strengths to build the relationship. Don't, get to a place where you only focus on the weaknesses and never focusing on the importance of the relationship, and that is your strength. Strength together, when you come together, builds it up. And, like the Bible says, that's allowing the power of agreement to take place. There's nothing that two of you shall agree on as touching on the earth that God will not honor for both of you.